8, Truck 6, Truck 3, Battalion 3, and the on-call inspector. 2303 West 46th Street, number 208.
Hi, I'm Division Chief Steve Fessler with Sioux Falls Fire Rescue. And on this episode of Sioux Falls Fire, we take a look at our revised elementary education program. We also look at a controlled burn that we do with Public Works, and we go out to Station 10 and watch the crews as they do some ice rescue training. All on this episode of Sioux Falls Fire. So today we're up on 60th Street North, and I'm here with Matt Weiss with Public Works, and we're looking to do a prescribed burn in one of the kind of the wetland water containment areas. Matt, tell us a little bit, well, first of all, tell us what is your position, and then you tell us a little bit of what's going on today.
I'm the watershed maintenance supervisor, and up here today we're going to do a prescribed burn to try and control an invasive species. Common reed is what it's called. Okay. It's a hollow stem plant. It's really hard to control with traditional methods of chemical. Mowing spreads the seed. What we're trying to do here is to burn off all the extra foliage so that in the spring we can come out when it's starting to come out of the ground and kill it and control this and try to get it from spreading.
So it's a good control measure for something like this, correct?
Very, very good. We'll use way less chemical trying to spray through all the dead foliage or the dead plant material.
Yep.
Here we'll be able to spray it right on fresh growth.
Okay, and so I know we've got Public Works and Fire are working together. There's quite a few different areas around the city that are going to need some prescribed burns and work through different things like that. What are some of the different reasons that we have to do those?
During maintenance projects are done during the winter on these, and they are sloughie, they're full of silt, so this acts as an insulator barrier to it freezing full depth. So if we burn it off, it will freeze deeper. We'll be able to get out there with equipment and do a better job cleaning them out. So that's what we've done in the past. So
doing a burn in the fall will allow it to freeze over in the winter more, and you can do what you need to do then.
Correct.
Okay, so and this is one of these great partnerships of the different departments within the city that we work together to facilitate your needs and our needs. It's good training for our guys, and it's great for you to be able to do what you need to do.
Oh, it increases our efficiency on a project like this tenfold.
All right, well, we'll let you get going on this. Thank you very much, Matt. I'm here with Captain Trent Bowe, and he's in charge of he's the IC on this controlled burn today. And Trent, tell us a little bit what's all going to happen, what are you looking at doing, and how's this going to work?
Well, we have it's a pretty nice day out today. We got nice winds north, about 10 to 15 miles an hour, which gives us a nice burn area and keeps away from the buildings that we're having. It might impact 60th Street North a little bit, yep. But for the most part, we're going to try to start a fire in the middle of this thing and then bring it on the edges, and hopefully we can keep the smoke coming into the middle. And then we'll work around the edges with our UTVs and our wildlands, and we're using a drip torch. We'll drop some fire and let it, hopefully everything works to our plan.
So we're working in conjunction and as a partnership with Public Works in some of their areas, but for our guys, what does something like this, a control burn like this, do for our training?
Well, we have a lot of younger guys on this department that have never seen, a whole lot of a wildland interface type fires. So for us, we have a few of us, like myself, that has 20-some years of experience, came from the background of wildland. Mm-hmm. We understand it, but we have a lot of new guys that are chomping at the bit to see what this is about. So they want to get in there and do it. So we're going to show them how the drip torch works. And sometimes, not necessarily when we get a real good fire going that needs to be put out, sometimes using water isn't necessarily the best thing. Sometimes fighting fire with fire is the best way. Yep. And this way we can teach them, hey, this is how you do. You control it, mark it, and let it burn back together. Because fire has a really weird sense of reaction to itself. When you have a fire in the middle and you have fire, it might combat the wind and actually bring itself to each other. So that's what we're going to try to do today. And these new guys, we're going to use it as a training opportunity for them. This is relatively easy. Public Works needs us to do some stuff. It gives us good, valuable training, and we can help them get these waterways cleared out so they can have better drainage and then better flood protection for these people. So,
yep. Sounds good. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Hi there, my name is Captain Nick Luther, Sioux Falls Fire. Out here today on the pond, we're doing some ice rescue training. We have Heavy Rescue 5 out here. located at Station 5, obviously. They specialize in USAR, which is Urban Search and Rescue. One of the disciplines out of the USAR program is ice rescue training. So they have all kinds of equipment to help rescue somebody that's fallen through the ice. And that's what we're doing out here today. It's nice having them out here. Where I'm at Station 10, we're an engine company, so we don't have a lot of the cool equipment and gadgets to effectively rescue someone as effective as they can. So they're out here showing us what we can do to help a patient that may have fallen through the ice until they get there with their specialty equipment. So within the Sioux Falls area, we've got a lot of ponds, both public and private. We've got the Big Sioux River in the area. And so, early winter, especially when the ice is just starting to form, it's really thin. People mistake that and they'll go out there and make the error and fall through the ice. That's why we're there. So anyway, we train this time of the year when the ice is bad, we call it. So we'll walk out there and essentially fall through the ice intentionally. And so a couple times a year we do that and to keep us up to speed. If you do find yourself falling through the ice, obviously try not to panic. There's certain techniques you can do to stay afloat. Grab on what we call the ice shelf, get as much of your body as you can over it, and then kind of do the best you can. Get your feet behind you and start paddling. And sometimes just that motion right there, paddling your feet can help get you back on that ice shelf and potentially just kind of do a self-rescue that way.
I'm here with driver Tony Bivens, and Tony, it's that time of year. The winter is here. Things are colder. Snow's flying. One of the questions we often get is, what types of things do firefighters need to think about when they're fighting fire in the winter compared to the summer? So what are some of those things?
Yeah, sure. One of the biggest things is the biggest thing we put out fires with is water. And water freezes when it gets cold. So when we're out there fighting fire, I guess as a driver, one of the biggest things I need to remember is make sure my pump doesn't freeze up.
Yep.
Whether that be if we're on a medical call, I have to keep that pump running so the water inside doesn't freeze. I don't have valves freezing and things like that. Other thing on the actual fire scene, when there's water all over the place and it's spilling out of the truck and all that, we carry salt and sand on our trucks so we can spread that around. And basically one of my jobs is just to make sure that guys aren't slipping and falling around the truck.
Slips and trips, yeah, definitely.
Yep, slips and trips.
And with that, so when you're on a fire and you got to keep the water going in the hose to keep it from freezing, that's extra water going around, so that's even more ice that we're contending with, correct?
It is, absolutely. One of the things I try to make sure the firefighters, since I have to keep the hoses running, we have to let a little bit of water flowing through them so they don't freeze up, is make sure that water is flowing in an area that's not our main traffic area too, so we have guys slipping and falling all over
Looking
the
out
place.
for the safety of everybody the entire time. And so, like, with a wintertime fire, what's the best way? I mean, do firefighters just stay warm in their bunker gear they have, or or is it layers? What are some of the things they think about there?
There's definitely some guys that add on some extra layers. Guys I've seen in my 13 years is they always, they have extra clothes with them. They have extra gloves or extra shirts because we're always getting wet. It's tough to try and keep yourself dry in a fire, but as much as you can, because your gloves are freezing up and then you lose all dexterity in your hands too.
So with that too, as firefighters work, they get cold, taking breaks in between things, moving people around, getting them warmed up, back in the fire, different things like that, correct?
Yes, yeah, we actually have our AMBU bus that we can bring on scene now, and that's kind of a rehab area for us too, as we can keep firefighters warm in that, so it's kind of a refuge for them to go to and stay warm.
And also one of the biggest things, and you especially as a driver, that you think about when you're pulling up to a fire, you're looking for that fire hydrant. And if you can't find that fire hydrant, it's covered up in a snowbank or something like that, it's frustrating, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So what do we ask, the general public to really help us with?
We really like the public to keep a 3-foot clearance around the fire hydrants because, you know, it could be their house on fire someday with that fire hydrant, right? And all it is costing us time to, if we have to dig through that hydrant on our own. They do have the flags sticking out of them, so that's, you know, how we locate them if there is snow around them, but it'd be great if they could keep a clearance for us.
Seconds can save lives in this respect, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So we just ask that 3 feet around, that way we can find them, we can connect to them, and we can get the water flowing right away.
Yep.
All right, well, I thank you very much for taking some time out, talking a little bit about this winter firefighting, and once again, thank you.
All right.
I'm here with Captain Ryan Cox. He's Sioux Falls Fire Rescue's Community Risk Reduction Specialist. First of all, tell me what that is.
Well, we've added this position recently, but really what it is just reaching out to the community for different reasons. Some of the things that we've already been doing, just re-emphasizing them, like our education program, partnerships with other programs in Sioux Falls. It's really an outreach program, so, you know, we're limited in our resources, and this community is vast with their resources, so it's just making those kick.
Kind of what it says, reducing risk.
Yes, exactly.
That's the best way to look at it. Well, you just mentioned one of the things is education.
Yes.
And we go out to the elementaries, we do educational programs from kindergarten through 4th grade. How have we changed those around in the past year or so?
Well, we were using curriculum that we'd been using for about, I hate to say this, 30 to 35 years.
Kind of a long time.
A long time, you know. I was actually a teacher before I became a firefighter, so I got, you know, roundabout way came back to it again.
Yep.
But what we did is we looked at how effective we were. What were the messages that we were getting to the students, and we really revamped the whole program. We, instead of driving to every school to deliver it, we've actually started doing virtual with some of the grades as well, which helps us, especially in Sioux Falls. I mean, we continuously keep growing, and I think we have 23 public schools, 6 Catholic schools, some Lutheran schools, Brandon.
The multitude of schools that are in our area.
Yeah,
correct.
So we had to come up with a way to keep up with that growth, because staff-wise, we weren't, you know, growing, so we needed to be more, you know, efficient with our time.
And going virtual has definitely made us more efficient with it. And it's opened up some other opportunities with other school districts around us too, correct?
Yeah, I mean, Sioux Falls isn't just Sioux Falls anymore. We have and other surrounding communities that everybody commutes in. In fact, I live out of town and I commute in. So we wanted to try to start reaching out to those communities as well, because they aren't, you know, they didn't have those resources for that education portion.
And I know one question some people will have, do we still have the puppet show?
Oh yes, definitely. And actually we've added things to it. We've actually enlarged that program a little bit, and then we're going to start reaching out to some of those other smaller communities as well. And the other unique thing we've done with it too is we've incorporated some of the puppets into the 1st grade, 2nd grade, and the 4th grade program too. Okay,
so they'll see those puppets from the time they're in kindergarten and working up through those first 4 grades. And, and moving on with the, in addition to just fire safety, a whole multitude of safety items, correct?
Yes, we've partnered with Avera for over probably those 30-some years with the puppet show only. And luckily I was able to talk them into helping us with the upper grades as well, so they come and help us with the 1st grade, 2nd grade, and 4th grade, which then it helps use that resource instead of using our own personnel for that education portion.
You skipped 3rd grade. What's 3rd grade?
3rd grade is still in person, so we're still doing the safety house where we take out to the schools and they get to experience that, but the other grades we do virtually.
Okay. Well, sounds good. Thank you for giving us a little bit more information on how we've changed up our education program, working with the schools, and we'll keep on going. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you for watching this episode of Sioux Falls Fire. And if you'd like more information on Sioux Falls Fire Rescue, go to siouxfalls.org/fire. And remember, 3 feet around the hydrant can save not only your house, but your neighbors.